Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Casler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. This one has more to do with how to install a station and discusses the problem. How do you get from inside to outside without opening a window and letting the bugs in? This is from Jeff Weisberg, KF0OWH. He's General Class Ham license. He's in Colorado. Okay, he's in an area where they have fairly strict homeowner association rules. He said, love your videos and think you may just have the answer to my question. I'm setting up my shack in my man cave or basement. That's good because you're close to where your ground rod is. I have egress windows, okay, so you can get in and out. The entire basement is subterranean. There is aluminum flashing outside the window in a steel gate on top. I have a comet window pass-through. Now, a comet window pass-through, for those who haven't seen them, it is possible in your car, if you're doing 2 meters or 70 centimeters, they have a little sticky thing that's about 2 inches square with a piece of coax coming out of it. And you put that on the inside of the window and then run that to your radio. On the outside, directly outside, you put another 2-inch pad there and then run that cable to your antenna. And that's neat. It does work. I've done it. I've seen it work. And it would be good for 2 meters and 70 centimeters. I wouldn't use it for anything else. Okay, I have a comet window pass-through, so no holes need to be drilled. My concern is the possible interference from the aluminum and the steel grate. Don't worry about it, because what's going by that is coax. Coax is not affected by anything around it, okay? Now, that's why you can coil up extra coax and stuff like that. This is not true for open wire lines. It is affected by what's around it. Okay, so coax isn't. How would I best deal with that? Run the coax in PVC, add a choke at my radio and antenna. I'm a new ham also in Colorado, so I'm still learning. Any advice you could offer would be greatly appreciated. Well, Jeff, let's see what we can do with your situation. First of all, you got to get from the inside to the outside. I don't think that little comet pass-through, which is a capacitor, basically, and especially if you have double glazed windows, because it keeps them fairly far apart. It's really designed for use with automobile windows. Unless I'm misinterpreting this, in which case, send me a link to this thing. It would be quite interesting. So you're going to have to drill a hole somewhere, and then you will run your coax out through that. It's easiest if you drill a hole before you put the ends on the cables, because then the drill hole needs only be about a 1/4 inch, and you can put an RG8X cable through that, and it gives you enough of filling up that hole that you won't get mice and stuff coming in, okay? Mice in Colorado at the end of the summer seem to feel that it's their privilege and right to come indoors where it's warm. And we have problems with that too. It's usually in the fall that we have our mouse problems. So what you will want right outside where your cable comes out is an 8-foot ground rod driven all the way in, and on it, a lightning arrestor. Here's an example right here of a lightning arrestor. These are 70 or 80 bucks each, and well worth the problem. If there is something that causes an issue with the spark gap in here, they're easily replaced, very easily replaced for a nominal fee of about 20 bucks or something like that. Then you run your coax from there to your antenna. Now, you're in an HOA, so you want kind of antenna that's fairly small. There are a number of them that you can use that would be essentially invisible from the front or from other people who are looking out the back, especially if you have some trees. You just go hide this in the trees. There's a company called Wolf River Coils who makes an antenna called TIA, Take It Along, okay? It is physically small, but my comparisons between that and my full-size vertical were quite favorable. I won't say that it was equal to full-size vertical, but it did pretty good. That's an antenna that you can put out in your backyard. It's from a distance very hard to see. Okay, so you can put something up like that. Or if you have the trees, you can put up a end-fed dipole or a center-fed dipole or something that will work well with what you've got there. You want something that can operate on your multiple bands. Do you need to run the coax through PVC pipe or something? No, you don't. A lot of coax is rated for direct burial. Check when you get it, and you can actually just dig a little 6-inch trench and lay the coax in and put the grass back on top of it, and you're fine. If you don't mow your backyard a lot, just before the grass starts to turn green, lay the thing out with little lawn staples, which you can get from Home Depot, and then the grass will grow up and around it. And after about a year, you can mow right over it and you won't even notice that the coax is there. Now, the Take It Along also has some radials. Get gray or dark green wire or something for those so they're not terribly visible. Take It Along base has aluminum. You can paint that olive drab, whatever you'd like. And now, one thing to note about this antenna, when you start operating on a band, you have to go and change the position of the coil. So if you like to do, say, 20 mostly, then you just leave it on 20. If you want to change to 40, you can do that pretty easily. By the way, just as a word to the wise, if you can operate on 20, shorten the whip just a bit. It makes it a lot easier to find the sweet point on that thing. I have a video on that antenna, as well as a number of other antennas that I think would make great antennas. Just before MFJ decided to pull out of the market and dissolve itself, they had a brand new antenna out that was 40-20-15-10. It's less than 20 feet tall. And we did a review of it. It was a wonderful review. The thing performed extremely well. And then you can't get them anymore, so it's too bad. So I won't bother with that one anymore. So do the usual thing. Run it out to the lightning arrestor. Run that out to your antenna. You'll need to attach number 6 or larger. Now, or larger means a smaller number, like 4. Number 4 wire is bigger than number 6. And get it stranded so that it has the maximum surface area. And clamp that with a hose clamp or something to your station ground rod, and the other end to where the electrical utility has put their ground rod, and clamp it to that. That's called bonding the various ground rods. That way, if there is lightning activity near your house, the whole house rises and falls together at the same voltage. What ruins equipment is not so much voltage, but the voltage difference will cause a serious problem. So there, if you have enjoyed this channel and you enjoy hearing the answers to these questions, please feel free to submit questions. You can send them to AskDave, all one word, at arrl.org. Okay, and they all come right here to this computer out here in Colorado. Okay, this particular question was sent to exactly that address, so that's how. Now, I'll either try to answer your question directly, or via an Ask Dave video, or via a column in my Ask Dave column. But I can only do 3 or 4 a month, so the vast majority get answered this way. If you would like to support this channel, you can do that by joining Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/KE0OG, you can become my patron. There are some levels in there that you can pick. It goes as low as, I think, $2 a month. There's another one for $5, another one for $10, I think. Okay, so up to you. There you go. Until we next meet, 73.